Thanks for tuning in. Today is another episode of Chatting in My Closet, with the topic being finding your own personal style. If you're tuning in for the first time, hi, I'm Katie. I like to do these luxury fashion videos here on YouTube. I share hauls and reviews, but at the end of the day, I share my journey so we can all mindfully curate our own collections. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave a comment down below with your thoughts. The Chatting in My Closet series really thrives from all of you sharing your thoughts as well, so definitely let me know in the comments down below. All of your support really means a lot to me. There are some folks who are playing some live music outside. I don't know if you can hear it through the mic, but if I don't film now, I will have no natural daylight to work with anymore. So it was kind of a now or never kind of thing. I hope it's not too distracting. I hope you don't hear too much of it, but that's if you do hear some random kind of saxophone noises or drums, that's what that is. The Chatting in My Closet videos can be quite chatty. They can kind of be long, so definitely grab a drink, grab a snack, whatever you want for tuning into this video. I have to say, I am loving my new cups. If you haven't seen my latest Paris haul, then you should definitely check it out because I share a little bit more details about these bad boys right here. But I just have some water in there, some cold water because it is hot, 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 hot. I am by no means some sort of style expert. I don't even think I have figured out 100% of my own personal style. So this is meant to be like an open conversation. I want to hear more from you guys as well on how you guys have navigated and figured out what works for you and not, how you approached your overall kind of style journey or fashion journey. But I really wanted to touch upon this topic because I feel like it's such a nebulous one. It's so difficult to grasp like what that means and how anybody is supposed to go about figuring out what that means. And like I said, I don't think I have the answer to that necessarily. I'm still figuring it out, but I wanted to share parts of my own journey and I guess my own definition of what that personal style means. For me, at this point in my journey, for me, it's really about what makes me feel the most comfortable. And when I was starting out my own kind of fashion exploration, if you will, I thought having your own personal style meant you had a very distinct look and you sort of had to stay within that look. Like, for example, if you liked those kinds of like romantic dresses and like that bohemian style, like that was a style, that if that was my style, that would be primarily what my looks would be around. Or if I like had a more androgynous or tomboy style, like that's what I would really be wearing. And like I felt like having my own personal style meant I had a very clear-cut, definition of like, these are the looks that I am going for and like this is what I embody and all of that stuff, right? And like as more time passes, I realize that it doesn't have to be so black and white. It doesn't have to be so cut and dry, right? Because for me, at least, my style is pretty broad. I like to dabble into a lot of different things. I like to wear like super chic, super structured, like all black outfits that are really cool looking, And then I also like to wear those kind of prairie girl or like, what's it called? Cottage chic. Cottage core type dresses too. Looks like, those ones where you look like you're frolicking in the meadows among the daisies, right? Like my style varies a lot. And that's why earlier on I struggled with it a little bit because I felt like I wasn't able to really figure out like who I was and like what my style was because I liked to explore and be in all those different kinds of genres, if you will. I'm getting to the point where I'm like, personal style means something that really makes me feel comfortable. And for me, that means it happens to be a broad group of things because that's what makes me feel comfortable. And it might depend on the day or it might depend on where I'm going that dictates what kind of mood I'm in. Those are all parts of me and parts of my own style. because they all make me feel comfortable for the place that I'm going to. I hope that makes sense. Like, I shouldn't be putting myself in a box like that. So that's the more kind of recent revelation I had, I guess, the recent evolution of my style or understanding of my style that I got to. And I don't know, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy because I feel like that leaves open the possibility of continuous exploration as I continue to get older, as I continue through my journey. You know, this might be a window into my own personality, but like, I felt like there was some sort of right answer for me. Not that my answer would be the same as yours necessarily, but that I had to like strive to figure out what the right answer was for me. And being okay with, you know, the multiple styles because that's what makes me comfortable actually freed me from having to figure out the right answer, you know? So I found that to be very liberating, and I found that to take off a lot of pressure on my own self and really just focus on the things that make me feel good and the things that make me feel comfortable. Because I have this kind of broad-ish style that can span different looks, sometimes it gets me into trouble because that means I end up sometimes buying a little bit more than I than I maybe want to or need to. There could be an accessory that works perfectly for when I'm wearing those like really girly dresses and all that stuff, but like maybe that accessory doesn't work that well for when I am, you know, wearing my jeans and a t-shirt, or when I'm wearing my super chic like power woman suit or whatever, right? That's why my closet is like bursting by the seams. When I make reference to like earlier on my journey, later in my journey, that has nothing to do with age. I really don't think this kind of style or fashion journey is purely tied to your age. Age-wise, you could be wherever. It really doesn't matter. It's more about like once you kind of embarked on that kind of journey, and then as you continue that journey, there's no age restriction to any of this stuff anyway. So if you feel like you're earlier in your exploration, earlier in your journey, like take that as a time to really explore a lot of different styles. Don't restrict yourself thinking you have to dress a certain way because you are a certain age or because you are a certain gender or anything really. I really feel like I benefited a lot from trying out a lot of different things. Was the best way for me to figure out how it made me feel. But if there are styles that I think are kind of interesting, like pique my interest for some reason, I try it. I try to find something that might already exist in my closet that gives me that little taste. Or that's where I like to also then stop by some high street brands to see if I can find some pieces that, oh, not a lot, but just like maybe one or two that will kind of give me that taste so that I can figure out whether I really like it enough to then start investing a little bit more in that kind of style or not. How has that journey been for you guys? I really want to hear how your fashion journey, how your fashion exploration has been. Let me know in the comments down below. As time passes though, I do realize through a lot of trial and error and trying out different styles that I feel like I start focusing a lot more on the silhouettes that I know work better for my body shape than pure trends. Because definitely earlier on in my journey, I didn't really have that great of an awareness of like what might be the most flattering for my body shape. I didn't really understand my body shape, to be honest. I'll admit earlier on I was also a lot more consumed with the size of my clothing than I am now. And honestly, I'm still working through that a little bit. I can't say I'm like 100% like over it, like have overcome it. But I would care a lot more about like the size on the stupid label of the clothes than like how it fit, or whether the silhouette was something that would work for me. So now that more time has passed and now that I have a better understanding of that, it's easier for me to say no to certain trends and like not really get wrapped up into, oh my gosh, like this is the it piece or the it item for the season and like I have to have it, because I know whether or not that works for me or not. Like for example, low-rise jeans, right? Low-rise pants are coming back. They're coming back, and I don't know how much I will partake in it, if any. I realized that high-waisted bottoms are just a lot more flattering for me and a lot more comfortable for me. So there's a part of me that's like, why would I get rid of that if I know that that's what works best? If you find yourself in a place where you feel like you're struggling to understand your personal style, you're struggling to understand what makes you feel good and what makes you feel comfortable, I do recommend, well, this is what worked for me. Like I had just mentioned, having a better understanding of my body shape, my body type, the proportions of my own body helped me better understand what works better and what I find more flattering for my body shape. What works best for me might not be the same as what works best for you. But also, there still will be moments of inspiration that I get from people who have an entirely different body shape from me, just from how they put their outfits together, the colors they combine together, the way they accessorize their outfits. So I would like watch a lot and really pay attention to a lot of those details, even if somebody looked very different from me, because there's always some element that I can get some inspiration out of. And there will be a little bit of trial and error, and there will be times where you might feel a little bit uncomfortable because you're outside of your comfort zone. But really all of that information collectively helps you better understand yourself. That's what was really helpful for me. And a lot of that information is really like, has now become really foundational for how I shop and how I put my outfits together, how I dress myself. That's oftentimes how I can see things on a runway, on a model who looks completely different from me. Like she has very different proportions, but I can still look at an item and kind of discern whether I think that would also translate well for me. You don't even have to go outside in the outfit. If it makes you feel that uncomfortable, I've done this before, where I would try on the outfit and I would just sit at home. Like I would sit at home, or I would do whatever stuff I'm doing at home. I would not go outside, so no one has to see the outfit. It's just me. It's just me by myself, and I'm kind of going about my day to day and seeing how the outfit makes me feel. If I don't like it, if there's something about it that bothers me, then I try to understand what it is. Is it because the skirt is too short, or maybe it's too tight, or my midriff keeps showing and I'm feeling very self-conscious? I make note of those things because then it helps me understand, okay, then the next time I want to put this kind of outfit together, maybe I want something that goes over it so that when my midriff shows while I move, I feel less conscious. Maybe my skirt needs to be a little bit longer. Maybe the skirt shouldn't be this kind of pencil wrap skirt, and maybe it should just be an A-line skirt because that's what I find to be more comfortable. Like there are these little things that you can always try while you're at home in the comfort of your own home to then also explore. You know what I mean? I don't know, this video sort of ended up with like tips, huh? I wasn't really intending on it to be that way. But I hope you still enjoyed this episode of Chatting in My Closet. Oh, I forgot to mention at the very beginning that I've been doing this series for 2 years now, but for the first time in 2 years, I had to skip my last month's episode, which I was super sad about. But I'm hoping starting this month, I can get back into the regular cadence of monthly Chatting in My Closets. If you have any other topic suggestions, feel free to leave those in the description box down below as well. You guys will ask me really good questions too, and so those will also spark some topic ideas for me. So definitely leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Also, Chatting in My Closet really thrives off of you guys sharing your thoughts and others being able to read those comments as well. So I love when I see other people commenting on people's comments and just the conversation growing. That's the whole point of this entire series. So I look forward to reading every single one of your comments when you leave them on my Chatting in My Closet videos. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave them down below or head on over to Instagram and I'd be happy to help however I can. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate all of your feedback and support. If you like this kind of content and you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I post new fashion related videos videos every Sunday and Wednesday. So until next time, bye!